Okay, so we're going to do energization tonight because we haven't done that in a really long time. And then we're going to be on our backs for a long portion of the class as well and just work with the legs. So yeah. Okay, so last week I was reading about ahimsa and this idea of non-harm. The second yama is truthfulness, or satya is the Sanskrit word. And it's based on the understanding that honest communication and action form the bedrock of any healthy relationship, community, or government. Well, that's clearly visible in the world today, and maybe what we're desperately in need of. When we're not true to our values or personal sense of integrity, we're not only untruthful to others, but we lie to ourselves. And this ultimately causes great inner turmoil. So reading that, just to consider for yourself tonight as you're working through the ways that you are truthful or untruthful, more so with yourself than the external world or others in your life. And particularly as we're working, how you are true to yourself in terms of your body and how your body feels as we work. Okay, so I'm going to mute you, Paula. If you have anything you need to say, feel free to unmute yourself at any time, okay?
Okay.
Grab my attention if you need to. Okay. All right, so it's been such a long time. I think I better keep my sheet handy so I know what I'm doing again. So it's the double breath. So hands lightly, like fists in front of the chest. And we breathe in. Exhale. Double breath in. And out. Take your time to feel the lines of fascia through the arms. 2 more times. And last time. Good. Okay, and then we're going to flex the foot behind. So we're squeezing the calf and then release. Then it comes forward and release. So squeeze calf, release. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. Squeeze and release. Other side. Squeeze, release. Squeeze and release. Flex, release. Flex, release. Last time. Flex, release, and flex, release. Good. Okay. So stand with your left foot slightly forward. You're going to tighten lower leg, lower arm, squeeze and release. Then upper leg, upper arm, squeeze, release. Lower, lower, release. Upper, upper, release. Lower leg, lower arm, release. Upper arm, upper leg. And then we'll switch. So lower leg, lower arm, squeeze and release. Upper leg, upper arm, squeeze, release. Lower and lower, release. Upper, upper, release. Lower, lower, release. And upper leg, upper arm, release. So we stand with the feet parallel. It's lower legs, we squeeze both sides. And release, and then upper body, arms, release. So lower legs, squeeze and release. Upper arms, squeeze and release. Lower body, squeeze and release. And upper arms, squeeze and release. Good. Oh yes. Okay, so buttocks and chest on the left side, squeeze and release. Again, same side. release, and then one last time, release. And we'll go to the other side, buttocks and chest. Release, squeeze, release. Last time, squeeze and release. Good. Okay, back. So we've got the 3 sections of the back. So starting by squeezing lower left back and release. Repeat, release. Last time, release. And we go to the right side, lower back, release. Lower back, and last time. And then middle back, squeeze and release on the left. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Right side, middle back, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Last time, and release. Upper back on the left, squeeze, release. Just feel that one shoulder blade moving towards the center and release. And then the other side, upper back. Squeeze, release. Last time, squeeze and release. Fingertips on shoulders, and we make circles with the elbows. So just as high or little, big or little as you wish. And if you can link the breath, just notice when you inhale, you can feel kind of a separation between the ribs. And then just reverse direction. Good, and release completely. We're going to put the hand to the forehead, resist and push into the hand, and release. And squeeze, release. Squeeze forward and release. Hands in the back of the head, squeeze into the back of the head, into the hands, and release. Press back, release. Last time, and release. And then hands on either side of the head. So pushing towards the left hand and resisting, release. Left side, release. One more time. And then we go to the right, so pressing into the hand and resisting, release, press, release, press, and release. Good. So now bringing up the shoulders towards the ears, and we make little circles, gentle circles with the neck. Just kind of feel the head floating. And then reverse direction. Let the shoulders go. And then make more circles, making them as small or as big as you like. And then switch direction. Good, and then back to center with the head. Okay, so the twisty thing. So we're twisting the body in the opposite direction of the knee, and then the other way. Just going back and forth. Okay, and then hands on the hips so we can make some hip circles. Notice where your weight is on your feet as you move. And then switch directions. Okay, and then a little side action. And then if you would like to do the pushing the hands into the back as you bring your pelvis forward and working the way up the spine with the hands. Hands and light fists in front of the body. So we're going to open back behind us. Remember that the elbow of the back arm has to stay parallel to the ground. So lift your elbows up. This elbow. There you go. So you feel the pull. Good. And then release to the front and the other side. Keep the breath as you open. Exhale as you come forward. Last time to whichever side you're going. And release. Good. Let's see. Okay, it's the brain tapping. So just lightly tapping with the fists all the way around the skull. And then massaging with the fingertips and the hands. Good. If you want to get your face too, that can feel really nice. And neck and shoulders if you'd like. Shaking the hands out. Okay, the 3 fingers at the back of the head, right where the skull meets the neck. 3 circles around, and then we breathe in and head down on the exhale. Good. So 3 circles one way, 3 the other. Breathe in, exhale. Good. And last time, making little circles, both directions. Then when you're ready, breathe in and exhale. Oh, good. Okay, hands overhead. So this is where we just squeeze the bicep of one arm. So just the left side, squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. And this is one of the good places to do your truthfulness test to see if you're actually just isolating that muscle or if there's other movement. Okay, other side. I didn't do that. 3 times each side. And then when you're done, you can drop your arms. No, not this. Weightlifting, yeah. So hands in front of the body, light fists. We're going to tighten the arms as we bring them up with a double breath, and then release and lower and squeeze. So you squeeze both at the bottom and the top, okay? So bottom squeeze, then release, then tighten upward and release, downward, release, upward, release, down, release, up, release. Last time down, and then just leave them there. Good. Okay. Okay. So hands in cactus shape. We're going to bring the elbows together, and then release. So breathe in, touch, and release. Good. Breathe in. And release. Opening the arms, same thing here with the tight as you're in, release, and then tight as you're out. And release. Tight in, release, tight out, release. Tight in, release, tight out, release, tight in, and tight out. Good. Relax. Okay, arm rotations, so it's the little circles. And we get tighter and tighter and smaller. And then soften, then go the other way, starting kind of loose and big, and then getting smaller and tighter as you go. So you're just kind of bouncing there. And release. Good. Okay, so this next one is pushing the hands forward and kind of rounding through the back, letting the chin come to the chest or towards the chest. And exhale back, breathing in as you push forward. Exhaling back, pushing forward. Exhaling back. Good. Relax. Finger recharge is this thingy bob. And then we're going to do the double breath in sequence. So it's opening, releasing to the front, overhead, and down. So double breath. Out, in, and out. Again. Out. Last time, double breath in, and out. Good. So we do the side to side. So remember, it's more about reaching up than it is over. Good. You can widen your stance a little bit if you need to. And then we're going to take the arm actually over to the side. It's a little bigger movement. Try to keep your chest in a flat line or plane so you're not bending forward or backwards. Okay. When you're ready, join me in the marching. So remember, you can keep your knees high, and you can make everything easier by allowing that tissue of the gut to move in and up, making the legs super light. Make sure you're breathing. And then just begin to pick it up a little bit. You can kick towards your behind. It's a good opportunity to get out all your stress. You can punch your arms forward if you like. You can even make sounds like, ah! I highly recommend it. Okay, rest. Let's just stand for a moment before we continue. So just feel both feet on the ground, be in mountain pose. Feel your heartbeat. Feel your breath respond to the effort. Feel the blood moving through your veins. Feel the fatigue in the muscles if there is any heat. I think that's the most aerobic thing I've done in weeks. Okay, we're gonna step forward with the left foot into space, and then we're gonna cross the other arm out in front of the body. So there's that crossing over the line. And back, tense forward, and back, tense forward, and back. Good, other side. So crossing over, feeling that crisscross, release. Again. Last time. And release. Big circles with the arms. With the breath. So you inhale up, exhale down. And then the other way. Very good. And then let's just do hip circles for the last little bit. So going one direction and then switching. And then doing the other leg. Coming again into mountain pose, and then we'll have the hands in very light fists. Gently inhale, or what do you think? It's exhale. Exhale forward, and then as you inhale, draw in positive energy towards your body without tension. Exhale, and inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Exhale. And then bringing the hands to the heart. Within each of us lies the power to do what we will do. Behind our every act is God's infinite power. Okay, come on down to your backs. I'm just going to check email just to make sure that Jackie didn't intend to come to the online class tonight and had no idea how to do so. Yeah, do drink water after that if you have it accessible. And so after you have a drink of water and then get comfortable on your back, just start to let yourself kind of release and let go of all those gravity-defying muscles. Uh-oh. Okay, she says she's absent.
She must have been held up all the bad weather.
Actually, she said she didn't have transportation tonight. So. Okay. So take some well-deserved deep breaths. And you can have your legs straight if you'd like, otherwise in constructive rest. The thing about constructive rest is that it allows the lower back to release. Sometimes having the legs straight can put some pressure on the lower back. There's some compression there, so it's whatever feels good. And just feel the ground beneath you supporting you. Good news is we've done all the hard stuff, and now we're still going to move, but we're going to use gravity and just let the body be heavy. Just breathe and let the body release towards the ground. Each breath. Check in with your feet. Make sure you can feel the full surface of the foot on each side. And notice as you connect that it might release something in the knee or in the thigh or the groin. So we're going to do a little bit of the pelvic tilting just to warm up the back, because we'll be working with the legs straight in a moment. So go ahead and tilt with the exhalation, the pelvis towards the feet. Or actually with the inhalation, sorry. And then as you exhale, tilt the pelvis back up towards the head. The back still stays on the ground. We're not lifting the body. We're just letting the body stay heavy, stay rooted. As if we were escargot crawling around. And just pay attention to the chain of response through the spine. Note the relationship between the back body and the front body, how one tightens and one lengthens, and they do so in opposition. See if you can feel how when you tilt the pelvis down, there's this pulling through the whole spine and the head kind of stays heavy. So the spine lengthens downward. And then as you tilt upward, it's like the front of the throat may open a little more. The shoulders may drop towards the hips. The shoulder blades may even come together a little bit. Just notice how the body is responding to the movement. And come back to a neutral place, sort of just cease movement, be still. Notice if there's any change. And now, if you're on a sticky mat, you might find some challenge in this next bit. Do either of you? Yeah, you both have socks. That's good. I don't know if you're wearing socks, Paula. If you're on a mat, you might need socks. I don't have mine on, so I'm going to move the mat. So if you have a carpet and that kind of is slippery, then you're okay. But a sticky mat will prevent you from moving freely. Okay, so we're going to keep one leg bent. Let's start with the left leg down. So to bring it down, drag the heel and push as if you're pushing away a heavy weight away from you. Keep your toes kind of flexed toward the body and just keep pushing. Yep. Push, push, push until the leg's extended. Good. And feel that moment of final extension. And again, we're going to drag the heel now back towards the body. So really dig that heel into the ground as you pull now, feeling the thigh working until it meets the other foot. Maybe you feel some back of the leg work. And then again, heel into the ground, push, push, push. Push, push away and lengthen the leg. Let it completely relax. And just note how that feels through the psoas as we move the leg up and back, up and down. And then again, digging that heel in, really press in with the heel. Feel the response through the leg. Drag, drag, drag the leg back to standing. And just pause for a moment at the top. Now on that left side, you're just going to let the knee flop and the foot roll onto the outer edge and let the leg be heavy. It may or may not touch the ground. And just notice what happens through the opposite hip. And then back to the center. So lift the leg back up, roll through the foot to the flat foot. And repeat that a few times. So we're just letting that foot roll and the knee drop open to the side. The other leg doesn't move. And you can pause there or you can keep flowing with it. It's at your own timing. Just do this several times. Notice what's happening through the hip, through the back, through the leg, back of the leg, and the foot. And notice how you're breathing. The next time you open, just leave your leg open and kind of press in with that outer edge of the foot towards the ground, and then lengthen the leg until it's straight and back to neutral. And then dig the heel in, draw it back up to standing next to the other leg. Okay, and then we're going to go in the reverse. So you're going to press the heel into the floor, drag the heel out, pressing out. And then let the knee bend and the knee drop to the ground as you trace up through the center with your foot. So you're kind of bringing your leg into butterfly pose. That's right. And just repeat that movement a few times. So it might kind of feel almost like a swimming kind of action as you lengthen the leg and then you kind of roll that hip outward and then drag that knee across and then back up. And just do it a few times. And then come back to having both knees bent. We'll go to the other side. So first, you just roll on the foot to the outer edge and let your right knee drop off to the side into a butterfly. And then roll back to the center and do that a few times on your own. Again, you can hold anywhere that feels good, or you can just keep opening and closing at your own pace. Try to really pay attention to how your lower back is working, if both hips are staying on the ground, or if you feel movement in the other side. See if you can isolate just that one hip. On the next open, you can then drag that heel down and push away from the body to bring the leg back to a long neutral. And then dig and drag the heel back to the body as you're standing on both feet again. And this time, press away, drag the heel, straighten the leg. Externally rotate the leg, letting the toes flop outward, and then dragging the foot and knee back up to the butterfly, to standing, and just repeat that kind of swimming motion. So we're lengthening the leg by dragging the heel and pushing away, and then opening to the side until we're back up to standing. Do that several times. Good, and then you can rest in neutral. Okay, so now we're going to straighten both legs by dragging the heels, kind of pushing them into the ground. The toes are flexed toward the body as you push away. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and bring those soles of the feet up the midline of the body. Good. And then bring the knees up to standing. Push the legs away. Bring the feet up through the center of the body. And then stand the legs again. So it's one continuous flow of pushing away, putting the soles of the feet together and dragging back up to standing, and then pushing away. Good. When you are ready, you can reverse that. So you'll drag the heels toward the body to standing, and then you'll let the knees open at the top, and then push the legs down to straighten. So it's the exact opposite. Keep relaxed through the upper body. Stay grounded. Notice if there's a tendency to twist right or left. And on this next lift and open, go ahead and stay open at the top. So we're in cobbler's pose, reclined cobbler's pose. And just feel the left and right foot pressing into each other. Kind of wiggle your toes together. If it feels a little too intense through the groin or the hip extension, then you might want to lower the feet towards the edge of the mat, a little further from the body. Deep breath. Good. Just be here for a few more seconds. Keeping the legs open, we'll just bring them down at the midline and straighten them again. And then rest with the legs long. And let the feet kind of rotate a little more inward so you're not flopping outward anymore. It's just kind of straight up and down. You can, if you want, you can kind of rock your legs in and out, your feet towards each other and then away, and then just find neutral. Okay, so for this next set, we're going to do the external, or actually it's internal rotation of the hip. So what you're going to do, and I think we might have done this once or twice, this time you're going to drag the heel out. So you have to rotate the toes inward and drag the heel out to the side and pull it up towards the outside of the body. Yeah. So hang on, I gotta show Ian here.
You feel monitoring.
Yeah. So drag that heel out this way. And can you just, and be very gentle, of course, so it won't go as far as it'll go. But see what you would have to do with your upper body to allow that to happen.
Is that like?
That's correct. Let your head go. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, and just explore that. And so, are you with me, Paula? Can I see a thumbs up, maybe? Okay. All right. So we're just bringing that heel to the outside of the body, the knee bent. So here you can notice how it feels through the hips. Usually there's a slight tilt to one hip or the outside hip, further hip. Notice that there might be, if you press into the floor with the heel, then that kind of lifts the body away from the floor. And then release the leg back to its full length. Just feel if there's any difference in sensation between right and left, having done that. We're still going to do the same side a couple more times. So at your own pace, just bring that heel, drag it up towards you. Notice where you might be tense. Are you tense in the thigh? Are you tense in the ankle? Are you tense in the back? What happens if you release more of your body to the floor in a different way. If you change your weight, if you press in with that foot, if you reach away from the body with that knee, what happens if you arch your back? Good, and then release, and then just one more time at your own pace. And it is worthwhile to take a really deep breath in between. Good, and then when you're ready to come back to neutral, just feel side to side what might feel slightly different in sensation. And as we go to the next side, I'd like to just have you go on your own and at your own pace. We're going to do 3 times each. And everybody might be in a different place at a different time. Just think about the things I've said, how if you reach away with that knee, if you press in with the foot, if you arch the back, so just explore and experiment for yourself. This side might be quite different, so be aware of that too. Make sure you release fully each time you come back to length. And then if you finish early, just notice the 2 sides now, how they feel in comparison. So we're going to bring the legs close together, so kind of stitch them up along the inside. And it may affect your back, so if it does, just notice how that might arch your back. What we're going to do this time is bring both heels to one side. So figure out how you would have to do that, and notice how your core engages as you kind of turn to the edges of the feet, and then bring both feet towards you. Maybe you feel the upper body kind of move towards the bottoms of the feet. The head might want to roll. Let the head roll. Just hold there for a moment. You can extend when you want to. Try to relax if you can. The tension may be collecting somewhere. See if you can release to the ground again if you're tense. Straightening when you want to. Let's do the same side before we go to the other side, just so we can get a sense of how the two sides feel different. So bringing it back to the same side, dragging the heels towards you. Again, the initial effort that it took to get you there, see if you can release that and soften the body. Notice how that one side is contracting, the other side is lengthening. And then release back to long legs when you're ready. Take a deep breath when you're long, and then just feel, how does that side we just worked with feel in comparison to the side that hasn't been worked? Is it tighter? Is it looser? Longer? Shorter? Okay, let's go to the other side. So first, just bringing the legs together. Makes it a little easier. And then rolling the feet and dragging the heels up the other side. Oh, cramp, that happens, just shake it out. Release your effort once you arrive. Try to soften there. You can straighten it any time, and then just do another one on that side when you're ready. Hopefully the second one will be or feel a little easier than the first. And then lengthening the legs. Feeling left to right now, hopefully a little more similar. There might be differences. Just note you can kind of rock the leg side to side. And then take a deep breath and just be in stillness for a few moments. Notice any sensations of buzzing or aliveness around the hips. And then let's bring the knees in towards the chest when you're ready to just kind of give a hug. Let that lower back go gently because we were just kind of in extension there. And we're going for flexion, whatever. I can't think. So believe it or not, I have to share this. I took a class with a teacher, and this was the class. We were in this position the whole time. So you would be amazed, and it's so funny because when I got up from it, I felt like I was in a new body. It was the most bizarre experience. We worked on breath, and breath and release, breath and release. And by the time I got up, I felt like I was floating. So as you breathe, you might notice that there's a pulse through the back spine, through the spine. As you breathe in, the lower back might lift a little, pelvis tilts towards the bottom of the mat. And then as you release, everything kind of comes back in towards the center and rounds through. So you can just kind of let the knees move away from the body and just have your palms of your hands on your knees. Let the knees move away from you so there's some space between your trunk, your groin, and your belly. You can cross at the ankles to feel a little more connected or anchored. And then just start to make really small little circles in one direction. And then the other direction. Good, and then just roll off to one side and kind of curl up for a moment. We're going to do some, we're going to sit for a moment, but just curl up first. And then go ahead and let yourself come to a seated position. Okay, so you want to be comfortable seated. So if you want to have your legs out straight, that's fine. If you want to sit on your knees, that's fine. If you want to sit on a cushion, all the better. Go sit on the block. Okay. So I just want you to bring one ear towards the shoulder and just notice where it stops. So we're not pushing anything, we're just kind of getting a read. And then go the other way. So just check where does it get kind of tight and feel like that's it. And is the left different than the right? And then once you feel like you've got a little snapshot of that, just bring your head back up to neutral. Now we're going to bring the upper arm to the head and meet with the head. So the forehead will be resting on the upper arm. And there's a little bit of resistance between the two. So let the head rest on the arm, but let the arm kind of support back towards the head. And then just kind of massage your forehead or the side of your head into the upper arm. Good, and then release. And recheck, so take your head to one shoulder and then the other and see if there's any difference. Anybody notice anything?
Yeah.
It's a bit loose though on the
Is it?
side, so
Okay.
yeah, just massage.
Okay, and so the other arm now, let's go to the other side. So again, your forehead, your weight of your head is resting on your hand, so give it over, don't hold it up. And then the arm has to work to support the head. And then just start to roll the head on the arm. And then you can release. And then just do another check and just notice if there's any difference. There may or may not be, but it would be different. And then take a deep centering breath. And prepare for Shavasana. Yay!
I did feel a difference that time.
That second
Definitely
time.
on the right side, it was looser.
Okay.
Yeah, coming over.
Yeah, good. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Okay, so make yourself comfy. And before you settle in, if there's any other kind of movement that you feel like you want to do to feel more complete, feel free to do that. So, I mean, that includes, any long body stretches, twisting, anything you want, or just be still. And And become aware of any sensations that are arising in the body. With each exhalation, just let that belly fall towards the ground and release deeper and deeper. I just noticed some tension in my neck and jaw. So if you feel like opening and closing the jaw, or using the thumbs behind the head to kind of massage, or just be still. Begin to allow some deeper breaths in the body. And start to feel that movement of the breath waving through. Awakening the fingers and toes. Bringing in any other movements gently back. Rolling off to one side. And come up in your own time. My socks on. Okay, and then coming into a seated position that's comfortable. Just feeling the body now in this position. Take a little scan of the mental body. The emotional body. And let's rub the hands together. Bring them to the chest. Breathe deep. And release. And let's chant Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.